Wolverhampton Pioneer Ministries began in about 2007. One of the taglines for WPM that I really love is putting a smile on the face of the city the way Jesus would have done. And really that's at the heart of what WPM seeks to do in terms of engagement and also in terms of service. One of the core subsections of it is Church 18-30. Current pattern is a service called Vitalise, which happens every Sunday night at 7:30. That's been growing of late over the past couple of months, and that's been really encouraging. On Friday nights, we're out showing people the love of God, the relationships we built with door staff, all that kind of stuff has been really important for us. We had all these people who were living in Wolverhampton, partying in Wolverhampton, as part of Wolverhampton, who are regularly coming into the city, coming in as groups, as individuals, but they were never finding their way into our churches. They were never finding their way into community within the kind of things that church offered. We've got network churches that work on relationships rather than on geographical areas. Has a couple of challenges that go along with it. Networks tend to reside with people rather than with institutions. So coming in as the new team leader has meant that in some ways having to start from scratch in terms of building those relations. And because of that, we were thinking as a church, how might we effectively work alongside those networks or plug in to those existing networks. We run Bible studies in places like Yates's, in places like McDonald's, unashamedly talking about the gospel, unashamedly studying the Bible, asking what it means, and striking up the conversations around that. Alongside that is excellence in worship. People who are passionate about worship, leading worship. There's no better thing to draw people in.
My friends find it a lot less scary, really, than going into a big traditional church and seeing the altar and the lectern and stuff. Because when you come into St. Peter's House, it's just really informally laid out, and you've got a variety of things, worship or prayer can be offered, drama, food. It's just really fun and relaxed environment.
Almost 3 months ago I started to come along to Vitalise every Sunday night, and as cliche as it may be, it has literally changed my life. The people I've met have become lifelong friends already. They're constantly teaching me new things. I'm learning more about my faith. I'm able to talk about it more confidently and be able to appreciate it more as well. And just the fact that we've got such a great community, free to be yourself, cry every week. And it's just an incredible place for worship, for prayer, and just to kind of help each other along with everyday things and even more personal things that we all struggle with as well.
There's much more of an emphasis here on being church rather than doing church. How we are with each other every day is part of who we are as a church. And to be people who will unashamedly talk about Jesus Christ, who will unashamedly talk about being disciples of Jesus and the struggles that presents, who will be able to talk about it with passion, with integrity, with authenticity, but to do so in a way that's trying to engage and be that yeast in the dough, reflecting on Jesus' own parables about building the kingdom. We've this year had 4 interns who've given us their gap year or a year out of their lives to come and to work alongside us. And what they're ready to do is to be part of the church and to work as part of the community full-time for that year. We now have a core team who are really looking to expand and build missional communities outside in new areas of the city and in new networks that exist.
I'm doing an internship with WPM for 1 year. I really feel it's going to help me and prepare me before I go to uni, so I'm learning so many skills and just growing in my relationship with God, and I feel it'll really just prepare me for life ahead.
We put a sofa out in the middle of the square here, and just got a big sign which we made out of a Hoover pole and stuck a fancier chat on the end of it, and just like walked around, and it's amazing. Some people just really wanted to just talk, get things off their chest.
It's really important to go to where people are, and so it's doing stuff with people that allows them to relax enough to talk about the things that they really want to talk about.
We're supported by the Church of England, partially, by the Methodist Church, partially, and also by the Church Army. So each of those carries some of the load, and that's enabled us to be able to work with all of those partners in different ways.
As a diocese, we're committed to parishes like the one represented by St Peter's Collegiate Church behind me and the Cafe Church that we've just started, working side by side together, inherited mode, fresh expression and mixed economy for everyone's benefit.
I think one of the things I've learned from my own experience coming into an existing project is the need for leadership to be being something that's grown constantly and something that's being paid attention to throughout the life of a project. Building up that leadership within teams, within leadership teams, not just through one person, but through that shared ministry is something that will really enable that. I think the vision for us will be for people to see church as a blessing. And when I see church, I don't just mean the building, but that group of people, that group of living stones, to actually be seen as something that's a blessing, for people to recognise as we come, as they see us in the streets, as they see us around, that these are people who represent kingdom building, that these are people who bring peace, joy and love to the streets. So that sense of serving the city, of loving the city and putting a smile on its face, if we can do that here and we can do it around the country, then I think people will see the attraction of Jesus Christ working through in their lives.